This week's affirmation is, I approach challenges with curiosity, creativity, and grace. And it's actually a great affirmation for the question that I got this week. And that was, how do I lead with compassion? Like, what does it actually look like to lead with compassion? My first thought is, how are you practicing compassion with yourself? Because if we aren't practicing compassion with ourselves, it's going to be very hard to be trying to lead others with compassion and grace. What does it look like? Are you giving yourself grace when you make mistakes? How are you treating yourself when you mess up or when you don't finish everything that you wanted to finish? We have to be giving ourselves grace and leading ourselves with compassion in order to provide that to others. The second thing that comes to mind for me in terms of leading with compassion is to make sure that we are really grounding ourselves, taking a moment to center ourselves before we go into interactions, especially conversations that we know are going to be challenging, where someone isn't meeting our expectations. In order that we can actually be in that conversation with that individual in a way that is in alignment with our core values. If I know that I don't want to be rude to you, I don't want to belittle you, I don't want to demean you, then I need to make sure that I'm centered before I go into that conversation, and then I'm truly taking a moment to remember that dignity and humanity before I step into that room or into that conversation. But beyond that, we need to also take a moment to assess the gap. Like, when it comes to leading with grace and compassion, am I making assumptions about why someone hasn't done something or why someone made a mistake or why they're showing up late? Or am I giving some space and pause and coming at that with curiosity? Am I asking the question before I voice the assumption that came to mind? The other piece is if we're thinking that there's a gap there, sometimes our first assumption is that it's a will gap. They just didn't want to do it. They were trying to be defiant. But what if it's a skill gap? And if it is a skill gap, how will I be investing in that gap as a leader? What are some ways that you lead with compassion and grace? Hi, I'm Tamisha Williams. I support BIPOC women and non-binary leaders to thrive in their careers without sacrificing their wellness. I look forward to hearing from you.